I stand firmly in the fact that I'm one of the best to ever do this. For the culture, for my coast, and for my city. This is the best rapper in L.A. podcast. And I'm your host, Murs. What up, though? Hey, y'all. It's been a wild few weeks, but we're finally doing this show for UMG. Not 3MG. But we got music coming to 3MG. Stay tuned. UMG, Universal Music Group, has signed me as a streamer, or working out the paperwork. But first show went live every Monday at Twitch. On Twitch, twitch.tv/3, spell out the word point, the number 5. I just play new music or old music. You know, this week on the show, I got to play my limited edition Slick Rick, Great Adventures of Slick Rick record that came with the eye patch. I got to put the eye patch on and do a lyrical breakdown of Children's Story, which is a highly influential song in my life and just in the culture in general. Talk a little bit about Slick Rick.
Here we go.
Play a lot of b-boy breaks. Some random rock pop shit that they gave me to play that I had no idea it was dope. So yeah, if you got 3 hours on a Monday, it's going now. It's going 11 a.m. Pacific time to 2 p.m. Pacific time every Monday. Check me out. It's fun. If you want to hop in and hear some new shit, talk, chop it up. It's a good gig. At this point, I'm feeling good. Glad to have it. This week is Comic-Con. If there is a vacation, if there is a place I feel at home, it is at this place every year.
So I want to introduce the panel. The first, Jamie Broadnox from Black Girl Nerds. Kelvin Chavez, editor, Latino Review. Good friend of mine and one of my favorite artists, hip-hop musician, Renaissance man, Murs. Murs, you know, when I first heard your music, it really struck me as being a more realistic representation of what the rapper behind the hip-hop persona was. You know, you from LA, but you weren't rapping like super hardcore gangster shit, but you still were acknowledging like that was a part of it. How have you been able to balance, years ago, how were you able to balance these two sides? Like, hey, I'm into comic books and Star Wars, but I'm also a rapper and I'm dope as a motherfucker.
Oh man, I feel like I should pull my chain out again. I always put in the music, and it was just always glazed over. But you know, some geeks embraced me, but I didn't look like I read comic books, so no one expected me to know. So no one would have those conversations. Like I rap with a guy named Slug from a group called Atmosphere, and yeah. And we never talked about comics, we would talk about hip-hop, and then one day I went to his house and I saw the comic books, and we were able to talk about Vertigo and Preacher and Invisibles and things, and he was shocked. And then, you know, it's just not something that's brought up, and like Tyler was saying, now it's it's everywhere, it's for everybody. But originally in my neighborhood, it was just like Crips and nobody to talk to about, you know? So at first, you know, it's like, cuz you read? And I'm like, yeah, you know?
I first got to go to Comic-Con maybe 05, 06 when I finally got money. I grew up looking at the back of certain publications in LA that advertised the L.A.Comic-Con growing up and in comic books. And it was at the Shrine Auditorium where the first paid dues would be eventually. But we didn't have the money, and my mom didn't really understand or the time to drive me to South Central to go to a comic book convention once a month. But when I was finally able to move around the city on my own, I went one year at the Shrine Auditorium. Then I found out about Comic-Con, this big thing, and it really wasn't a big thing for those of you interested until what some of my contemporaries call the twihards. Until, this is my story, because I'm not a Comic-Con aficionado. I'm a comic book nerd, but Comic-Con is a different thing. But the con wasn't as big as it is until the major film companies started adapting comic books. Or they started making movies about books that were famous amongst the nerd community. Like Twilight was a thing. And there's cosplay and there's all this stuff around it. When they made the film, they found out they had panels and debuted the film in Hall H, which is the huge hall of the San Diego Convention Center. It would start with this thing. And so then the Twihards, Harry Potter, and then Marvel got bought by Disney. And then so Disney started having booths, and it was less about comic books and more about then Hasbro and then toys, and all this stuff invaded the people. But it's all based on our little nerdy world, because nerds are some of the trendsetters. We were reading Iron Man for years, and didn't mean shit till someone made a movie where you didn't have to use your fingers and eyes to read, and you didn't have to go to a comic book store. It could just be piped into you in front of a screen. But it's the story that we came to love from using old-fashioned technology of eyes and words and print. So it became huge. Then I wanted to go to the huge one. I always wanted to go to the huge one, but by the time I got the means to go to the huge one was huge. It wasn't just a huge place for comic book vendors from all over the world. Like, the big deal was there's comic book vendors from all over the world, and you may be able to catch some stars from random sci-fi things. You could pay a couple bucks to get a picture with Lou Ferrigno and a Power Ranger. That was Comic-Con. Then it became this thing. Like, I wanted to meet Sergeant Slaughter, Lou Ferrigno, some dude dressed up like Spider-Man, buy a couple books that I've been looking for, maybe find a first appearance of Black Panther, and get the fuck out of there. Now, it's some huge thing. Finally got money around this Warner time, booked a suite at a hotel. Even then, you could still, before it was, now you can't book a hotel like months in advance, but I was able to book a decent hotel. I think it was a Standard or something like that. Saying it was some Art Deco modern hotel across from where Tower Records used to be in downtown San Diego. I believe Tower Records was still hanging on by a thread at that time. So I was able to go record shopping, and I was familiar with the area because we were playing House of Blues San Diego in that era. And I think B Street or D Street, one of the other venues. I was able to walk down to Comic-Con and walk back and petty cabs and all that shit. But it just became every year it's got huger and huger. The Walking Dead became a thing. So then that panel became so now people who give a fuck about comic books are sleeping out on the street to get into Hall H to see their favorite actor on a panel, because the actor is in a movie or a TV show based on a comic book, and we're all there for the comics. So we kind of got pushed to the side, but still there's nerds by the tens and thousands. And for the first time in my life, I didn't have to walk with my shoulders hunched or feel weird for sitting down in the middle of somewhere and reading a comic book. Like, everyone is one of us. And even in hip hop, when you get to hip hop heads, like, we're really nerds. Like, people who listen to this podcast are probably hip hop nerd. You know, like the minutia of things, like you're really into something. And when you get into something, you go all in on the lore, the backstory, the hows, when, what's, where's, and whys. To me, that's what makes a nerd. It doesn't matter if you're like that about sports or the natural table of elements or whatever the fuck. The table of elements, natural table of naturally occurring elements. Or the non-natural occurring atoms. I'm sure there's a fucking subsect of chemists or scientists that are excited about that. But comics was our thing, still my thing. I try to go. Now I've been on a panel thanks to Patrick Reed. Every year I do a panel. Never thought, being a kid from inner city Los Angeles, a black kid in America, thinking that I would be able to be on a panel and get a badge with my name on it and have like a place where I sit with a microphone like fucking Jim Lee had, like fucking Todd McFarlane had, like these pictures I see in The Wizard, which is the price guide for comic books, the industry, magazine that used to come out. Like, wow, like I am talent at Comic-Con. There's no higher, those are the things that, platinum plaque would be great, but it's not going to feel like I feel like being able to go to Comic-Con every year. And then I get to bring my kids. So all of my kids have been there and they get inducted into the culture and, get them into reading in any way, shape or form. If I'm lucky, I'll get some interviews from the floor from you guys. If not, this will be a shorter episode because this is my holiday.
Every day is a holiday. Another motherfucking holiday. Every day is a holiday. Another motherfucking holiday.
All that to say that this is a very special time for me. I don't get many times where I get my wife's blessing to be away from my kids for that many hours, and I'm not working. this is a time where, and I'm still working. Everything I do has to be based on work, but I love what I do. I still am there to do a panel, but if I'm lucky, I'll get 1, maybe 2 days where I get to walk the floor. 1 day to walk the floor without my kids, 1 day to walk the floor and work, and then 1 day with the family on the floor. But I'll take it. That is my only day off every year. By the time the next episode comes out, it'll be time for the 1-year anniversary. Tickets are still available. I think a couple tickets. Eventbrite, links in whatever the links are. The links are in my bio and on IG. 611 Anderson, August 3rd, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. We're coming up on So Comfortable, which is a song about cars.
I got wood grain trains, flushed out seats, pouring seams, and making endless cream. I don't have to bling bling, I keep the pinky diamond ring, and oh, I never liked XO on the ride. And you love, come ride with me, the good smell of leather and me. Oh, oh, I'm so comfortable, now burn that out, yeah.
So I figured what better is perfect timing. Almost, we were a little week off, but we take this week for Comic-Con and the song Paris that I did with Mr. Len that's based on his love for comics and stuff. And we will do So Comfortable at the Vintage Japanese Motor Union, which makes sense. And my homie Savant is in the cars. My homie also So Comfortable is produced by Joseph Lineberg, who is friends with my homie Savant, who is part of these. And I can't, I have to listen to myself, which is already hard for me when I approve these episodes, but it's also hard for me listening to myself be inauthentic. So a bunch of Pasadena niggas, or like niggas that are San Fernando Valley niggas. I don't know if Joe was one originally, but he's over there now with a lot of the homies in Dina. And Savant has been in that area for a while. He's a South Central dude, but he's with the Pasadena niggas too. So he's down with them. So it was dope to be in that area again when I had to go to Joseph's studio to record this song. We'll talk about him on the next episode, hopefully at the live. And there's a few other stories I'm going to tell. If you thought it was all ages, you're right, but I forgot everybody's not like me. All ages means I'm going to talk about eating pussy and some more things live. So you may not want to bring your kids. There'll be beer, weed beer, probably hard liquor, pizza, and me with my filthy fucking mouth telling stories that you may not want your children to hear. Stories that I may not want my children to hear, but the language. So when you say all ages, so I'm going to email a guy back that asked about it. So yes, technically you could bring whoever the fuck you want. I'm not going to watch my mouth, nor am I going to censor myself, because it wouldn't be the podcast. Mr. Len. He's come up a lot. Over 20 years of friendship. If you're a rapper or rap and you've been on tour with me, you've probably met my family. On the Murs Day tour, I brought the whole family to Thanksgiving. Another tour, on the Love and Rockets tour, I brought the whole family to Thanksgiving, which was really crazy because I had Ski Beats, Brady Watt, all at my grandparents' house in Midtown. And at the time, my uncle was dating, or his best friend, or I don't know, was Hobbs, Miss Miriam from Police Academy. God bless her soul. She passed away, but she had become a friend of. So they were geeking out, like, because we're all older, and they're like, "Yo, that's homegirl from Police Academy, the busty lady from Police Academy," to put it mildly. Man, she was so nice.
That's a lot better.
But they met my mom, my uncle, my auntie. My auntie is great. My uncle's great, but my auntie is the star. She's a fucking star. I love that woman. And my uncle is funny, witty, handsome, all the great things. But my auntie is just such a character. But Len is one of the few people that I've actually met his family. Everybody meets my family because I'm a family person. You can't know me without knowing my family. As you guys will see, my mom probably has bought 10 tickets to this fucking 1-year anniversary. We're having our family reunion and she wants to bring the whole fucking family. That's because my mom loves me and I love her so much. Len did that with me. And I don't know if we told the story, but I'm going to tell it again. His father, like, we went over for like Labor Day. I was recording at his house. Like, I got to go to my family's house, so you're coming with me. He has twin brothers. He has another brother, and a sister. So I think he's the oldest of, how many did I just name? 5, 6? He a big family. His dad's in the backyard playing basketball. His dad teaches us how to do a hook shot because he's schooling us. We're hooping in the backyard. That hook shot was vicious, bro. Dude could hit it at any given time. We sit down at the table. We're eating. I'm a very gassy individual. So I fart at the table. I couldn't help it. And I was so embarrassed. But immediately his whole family is like, Len, you're fucking disgusting. And he's like, and Len like leans into it. Like he'll play the role. So his wife, his mom, his sister, everybody at the table was like, fucking Len. And he just kind of like, and then they were so on him and he just took it. And I was like, it was me. And then the laughter was tremendous. So we've been family ever since then. He DJ'd for me when I set the Guinness record. And it took a lot of training. It took hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of work. We have a song called My Final Underground Song. I forgot that.
Dirty concrete, sky blue dreams grown. Crooked smile with some 501 jeans on. Mama, I made it look. Used to scribble rhymes in my green Power Ranger book. Took the bus with the Crips and the pretty boys. Now I look plush when I dip through my city, boy. The youngest crown me an OG. And all the big homies super proud of me.
Anytime he asks me for music, I do it. So recently when he asked me for music, he said he was working on this thing called Life in Dakota. It turns out it's 2 of his brothers playing instruments and him doing the beats. That's the name of the band is Life in Dakota. So go to lifeindakota.bandcamp.com or bandcamp.com, Life in Dakota, something like that.
I was born in the Midtown Metro. My pops fighting with the Crips living next door. You still gangbanging? That's retro. But if you really down for it, then respect, bro. I skipped the 2nd grade cause I was special. I went to Washington, not Wilshire Crest though. Selling candy for $1 like Creflo. Back when Tim Raines played for the Expos. My koala had a Dodger blue cap on. Aisha had a booty got smacked on.
He sent me the songs like I wanted to be like Break of Dawn by De La Soul.
I was born in the boogie down cat scan when my builder fell down on the rat scan. People sold a super on a trip to the P now. While I settle off the shores of the Long Island. My father's clean, I mean my mind is clear when I transmit. I am the man of the family cause the pants fit. I want to let forensics prove that I can mince groove with the thread from leader water hate. Wanna say salutation to the nation of the Nubians. We about to place it in that 3 feet of stew again. I got the frequency to shatter Mr. Jones' perm. I got a hail of other honeys cause it's short-term Cali and a storm for the shotty in the jacket.
Like we talk about ninth and people who are hip-hop scholars, we can communicate this way. Real producers will communicate. Or I guess I don't say real. Certain producers will communicate with me. But I gotta get mine with MC Breed and Tupac. But a comic book superhero. All right, fucking Len.
I gotta get mine. And how? You gotta get yours. I gotta get mine. 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 Get yours. Smooth as I wanna be, fuck with me, use a corner.
I love being painted into a corner. And we've talked about this podcast. When I hear a beat, I hear something. So I heard the beat and I was like, oh, Paris. I don't know why the fuck I was thinking Paris or France. I have a good friend named Max, who road manager for myself, Fashion, Freddie Gibbs, manages a UK artist named Lord Apex. Please check him out. He's dope as fuck to me, young man, 25 from London, England. I'm on one of his songs and he's on one of my songs on the Love and Rockets Deluxe, me, him, and Lil B.
I've been regulating, it's a regulation party. But I'm far from regular, you regular, I'm sorry.
I felt like Polo Kanye when I first heard this. I got the spirit of Faye cause she don't take shit. I hate a bougie bitch who act like she don't take shits. From 99 to 2040, how I switch up fits. I know she pretty, I don't know what all that makeup is. The whole titty in my mouth, I'm trying to wake up kids.
He has this album with L.A.F., who produced my EP, Take It Easy, My Brother Murs. He has an album called Jogo Bonito that's really good, The Beautiful Game.
Like fuck it, let's microdose, fuck it, let's trip tonight. One grip, baby, back eating ribs tonight. That pussy did fit me like kryptonite. Ain't going, I'll stay in kryptonite. New designer, they loving my fit tonight. I decided if I should cut the zip tonight. Down in Brighton, I got chipping fish to buy. He ain't nobody, so I diss them like. Maybe different, I love from a distance like. Ain't no photo, I told him to fix his life.
Artwork is amazing on that. Max is his manager and also works with L.A.F. So Max hooked me up with L.A.F. Max has hooked me up with so many people. I think I first met him in 2010. He's been a friend. He was just in Brazil with me and my family. He made Paris fun. I got a tattoo that says fear less, love more in French. He hooked me up with a gentleman who did it for me. He's very famous. And then homie Leo, I can't say the name of his fucking tattoo. He has a tattoo style. He has 3 tattoo parlors in France. He tattoos all the famous rappers. He tattooed me and Fashion, but that was all thanks to, it had to be 2012 when I met him. That was thanks to Max. Max also is a Marseille fan. Marseille is the second most legendary football club or soccer team in France. He got me an Olympique Marseille jersey with my name on the back from the team. Max is shit, but I did not like France. At all. I did not like Europe at all. Multiple reasons. But when I signed to Def Jux, LP, who was in a group with Mr. Len called Company Flow, they broke up. It's kind of like little brother. I maintain friendships with both people. Everybody's friends now, I believe. I haven't talked to Just much, so I don't know. But L was like, yo, Europe is a major market and they love our music over there. You got to go over to Europe and do a press tour for End of the Beginning. I was, fuck, man. All right, L believes in me. He's putting my record in Best Buy. Fuck it, I'll go. I go there. This is before smartphones, guys. I haven't been back since 96. I try to avoid it. Colonizers. Later on, there's not a lot of black people. There's Africans, but not a lot of black people, which is different than Africans, if you ask me. And on this press trip, I have an altercation with the African dude who goes, "You don't think you're me?" And I'm like, "I'm not." I was like, and he had to break. He got very aggressive with me, and I was like, "Bro, like, if you go to Africa, you're Ghanaian, bro. He was from Senegal. I'm from Senegal. Yeah, you're from Senegal. If I go to Africa, I'm not from fucking anywhere. So I'm a black American, unfortunately on the American part, but I'm black. I see you as a brother, but we're not the same. No, I am not you. Your experience is extremely different than mine. And that's okay. But why? Like, he was running up on me. I was like, I don't know if he was trying to rob me, but it was a real serious altercation when I think at the Hamburg, coming out of the train station. But I flew in and it was just like messages. Like, I got a fax. Like, go to this hotel. There was nobody waiting for me. There was no guide. There was no translator. Like, these kids have it so fucking easy. I was like, yo, I don't want to be here. And not only do I want to be here, it's like I get to a hotel and they're like, your liaison will be here in the morning. But above all, I did not care for France. I miss black people, but I also grew to realize I miss Chicano culture. That's what I was trying to say. I'm so LA that if I don't have a lot of, like, the Mexicans, El Salvadorians especially, like, the Chicano culture is so intrinsic to my being, along with Black America. If I need both, BOF, I need both. I need Black American culture or to feel at home. I miss both. I need both. I don't like being out with one or both. But one or the other has to be. So that's what I was missing. Now that I identify what I'm missing, I can stock up on what I'm missing before I leave. Like I bring Black America with me wherever I go, but that was a part of me. I don't know. Didn't like it. Now L's like, we got you some distribution over there. You did all the magazines. Now we have to tour. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You don't want to capitalize on Eric? Fine. Me and L tour. Like, and why would I say no? This is boss of my label and one of my favorite rappers. Of course, yes. L is very precise with it. I learned all his words and blah, blah. He's very, very, him and Shauner and everybody but me is very specific about their performance. Not very punk rock. I'm very punk rock about my performance. So rehearsals, I literally had to write down like ad-libs he wanted said and ad-libs he didn't want to say. Got it done. We do the first couple shows. I'm not feeling well because I'm not in a good mental space. I'm sure that's it. We get to Bordeaux. We're doing a show. It's kind of like a rundown. Like everything is old. Like everything, the youngest thing in Europe is older than America. And as I grew into a well-traveled person by being uncomfortable and missing my Black and Chicano culture and embracing new culture, I found beauty in that there's fucking some history to everything. Whether that history is good, bad, or ugly, shit is old here. So some of the venues were older than New York City, period. Like the buildings in the neighborhood. So I don't know, this building was really old. And I remember like being like a old castle in the backstage area, kind of like looked like ruins. And then you go to the right and you go to this room and then there was new furniture. It's like the juxtaposition, like, oh, there's a new bar and a new beer dispenser in this place. But it's like you're in a setting from the 1500s, but there's new shit. There's a stage and there's monitors and there's a bar with beer. And oh, man. So we go to the backstage and like there's a refrigerator and I remember there's a red sofa. I'm not feeling well. I don't want to be in Europe. I'm laying on the couch with my eyes closed, waiting for the show. Some dude's French asking, what do Murs, we want to do? And I hate interviews. I hate being asked questions. What do you want to do? What do you want to do interview? Like they're saying something like the English is fucked up. They speak 2 languages I don't speak. I barely speak 1. So when I do this impersonation, I'm not insulting. They're much more intelligent than I am. But like, yo, what do you do with this time? I think that's what I'm saying. What do you want? We want to do an interview. I don't want to do an interview, man. I flew out here. I did all my interviews. Fuck up. Fuck you guys. No. But we want to talk about the Log Cabin. That was the first crew I recorded with. One of the first crews I recorded with here in L.A. We never put out an album, but it is legendary in certain circles. People think that we put out an album and they're trying to find the original. It was never pressed. We never could afford to get the tapes mastered and mixed. There's just a bunch of unmixed songs that have been dubbed to the nth degree, even in Paris in 2003. That's how Sunsprayed and a lot of 3MG songs got overseas in the first place. These things spread like wildfire, but we never pressed them up ourselves. A one solid copy of all these songs doesn't exist. But it's dope that way, so it's a legend. But I'm not trying to hear that right now. We want to talk about Log Cabin. They expected me to be impressed. I don't want to fucking talk to you. And when I signed to Def Jux, L made me promise I wouldn't beat anybody up, that I wouldn't punch anybody, that I wouldn't fight journalists or anyone for that matter. I want to sock them. I get to like the point where I'm like clenching my fists and I like want to do something. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm just going to get naked. That's the answer. I'm going to get naked. I'm going to get naked. I got butt naked. Buck, however you say it, naked, asshole naked, and laid on the couch for them to leave me alone. I started undressing. I was losing my mind, bro, because I couldn't. This is part of being culture. I want to steal on you. I want to knock you the fuck out, but I'm trying to grow. So fuck it. So the most sane thing, if I can't react how I would in where I'm from, which is to choke you the fuck out and break your jaw, I'm going to just get naked and hopefully you leave me alone. They sat down and said, okay, well, now can we talk about the Log Cabin, Murs? I said, oh, fuck. Then L snapped. L watched me like, and that's what I love about this, man. He's like, all right, my bro, like He walked in on it. It was like, what's going on? I was like, I told him, leave me alone. He said, and then he lost it. I'll fucking kill you. Did you see this man has lost it? He's fucking naked. Like, he had to see me naked. He was furious, bro. And then they left. But I did the right thing. Like, I put my boss in a position where, like, look, I'm doing what I said I would do. I'm not fighting. Now you take it from here. And he stepped in and took it from there. In the hook, I say, we're getting money in Bordeaux. So that's my Bordeaux story.
We getting money in Lyon. We getting money in Lyon. We getting money in Ring. We getting money in Ring. Got paid in Bordeaux. Got paid in Bordeaux. Now back to Paris again. Now back to Paris. We getting money in Lyon. We getting money in Lyon. We getting money in Ring. We getting money in Ring. Got paid in Bordeaux. Got paid in Bordeaux. Now back to Paris again.
Eventually, we have to fly. To Scandinavia. Our tour manager is an old tour manager from the Ramones, good dude, forget his name. We fly Ryanair, I believe from France, into somewhere in Norway. When I tell you it's one of the worst flights I've ever been on in my life, one of the worst flights.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. If you're up and about in the cabin, we ask that you take your seats and make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened.
The plane goes up, shake, like I've never been anything like it. The seats are thin. It's like one of those, like, sit where you want. Not even like Southwest where they board in groups. It's just like EasyJet and Ryanair. At this point in London and in Europe, I don't know if EasyJet was around yet, but they literally open the gates and people run out onto the tarmac, onto the platform, like it's a train in New York City, like it's a bus in South Central Los Angeles. You just run to the fucking plane and find your seat. That is what is going on here. It's like public transportation. The tickets are dirt cheap. Because going from L.A. to Phoenix, you're in, it's like Luxembourg to Berlin. And like, it's just like, it's easy flights. You can go to Austria. You can be in another country in an hour flight. And that's how people are doing it. So we get on this flight and then there's no free water. After we had this horrible boarding experience, horrible takeoff, we get to cruising altitude and it's still bumping. They're pushing shit down the aisle. Elle sitting next to me is like, yo, I just want a water. And the lady's like, we want water. And they're like, okay, here's like one, I think it was still like euro and 2-3 euro, whatever. And she's like, oh, we don't take euro. We only take Norwegian kroner. There's Norwegian kroner, Danish kroner, and Swedish kroner still. Sometimes the kroner people will let you interchange, but you definitely cannot. They can't accept euro, but on this flight, so now we have no water. You almost die. You feel like you're going to die. It's one of those flights where you felt like you were going to die. You just want a water, maybe to take your antidepressants or whatever, or just to calm yourself. You want a beverage. Nah. We don't have the right currency. The landing was horrible. Elle is so rattled that he tells our tour manager, cancel every flight for the rest of the tour. The next flight I'm on is going home. He has a huge festival or a big festival play where he is opening for or the direct support or going on after what is the Wu-Tang of France at the time. He's like, Murs, if you want the money, I'll give you my money guarantee for the show. You rock the show. I was like, I hate France, Elle. I hate Paris. I didn't want to go. That's the last. Now you want me to do your press and do your show? But for me, like, I'm son of my grandfather. Money? Like, I'm still, whether you think I am or not, I'm still a kid from the hood. Like, what? I can't say no to the money. I've risked felonies I sold weed for money. I've done things for money that were a lot more dangerous than rocking a show at a festival in Paris. So for me to say no to a few grand for that, I'd be foolish. And it'd be disrespectful to my homies. Like, I got opportunities, my nigga. Yeah, all right. Fuck you, but all right. In a good way. My homie, my brotherly fuck you. Then we have to drive across Scandinavia in a Volvo with all our merchant equipment because Elle refuses to fly. I still have the poster from the Oslo show. Shows are great. We had some drama on that tour. Elle once again showed me that he's with all the shit. And anyway, the important part is Elle left the tour. I left France mad. I don't believe Elle ever paid me for that show, but he paid me in many other ways. He did a song called Flyntology later. He had an even worse flight from Costa Rica, I understand, where an engine blew up, and it was just like, that was his path at the point with flying. I don't judge him. I respect it. I didn't care for flying at the time. I get it. But it ended in France, in Paris, France. And I was pissed. Didn't go to France for many years. Got married. My ex-wife had never seen Europe, so I'm like, this is a chance for us to go. Started going back. That's when I made friends with Max. Went back with Fash. We got tattooed. Now Max has introduced me to Xavier, who's on the ESPN version of, or the ESPN, French version of ESPN. He became a friend because I went on fucking national French television, was like, Magic Johnson ain't shit. You guys better stop, get off his dick. If I was a 6'9" point guard in fucking the 80s going against Isaiah Thomas, I'd be able to do no-look passes too. And they laughed at me. We became friends for my extreme, but absolutely correct views on basketball. And that was another thing that made me love France more. And he started introducing me to other people. We start playing. Every time I go there, I play on a tugboat in some canal there. I went to the Louvre, saw the Eiffel Tower. I started doing tourist shit. Love Paris now. Lots of love for Europe now. I've grown. I soak up my Black and Chicano American culture, put it in my corazon, and I travel with love and joy and respect for the other cultures now. That was in my heart when I heard this beat.
I was born in the Midtown Metro. My pops fighting with the Crips living next door. You still gangbanging? That's retro. But if you really down for it, then respect, bro. I skipped the second grade cause I was special. I went to Washington, not Wilshire Crest though. Selling candy for $1 like Creflo. Back when Tim Raines played for the Expos. My koala had a Dodger blue cap on. Aisha had a booty, got smacked on. These days it's the booty that they snack on. But not me, I'd rather keep it in the black thong. I got dreams for sale, you could put them on a scale. Love the way they smell in my metal lunch pail. Drinking out of thermos, restaurants wouldn't service. Now we getting money and the whole world nervous. A cafe out in Paris. Flashed €1,000, now the management embarrassed. Flee from the scene like some villains on the spree. Yelling out Marseille, we don't fuck with PSG. We getting money in Lyon. We getting money in Lyon. We getting money in Rennes. We getting money in Rennes. Got paid in Bordeaux. Got paid in Bordeaux. Back in Paris again.
I was born in the boogie down Cascan with a vibe, with a laps. So that's, he told me do De La Soul, break it down. So I started with, I was born in the Midtown Metro. My pops fighting with the Crips living next door. You still gangbanging? Well, that's retro. But if you're really down for it, then respect, bro. Story about my father chaperoning. The neighbors asked him to chaperone the dance. And some Crips, so old school Crips in the late 70s Crips tried to run up in the party. My dad came downstairs because he was supervising and said, yo, y'all can't come in here. They said, we coming in anyway, nigga. So he said, all right, cuz. Cuz, I'm coming in anyway. So he said, all right, well, there's one rule. If you want to come into this party, you got to dance with the lady of the house. So the guy said, well, bring that bitch out then. My dad cocked a shotgun, put it under his chin, and put them motherfuckers out. My pops fighting with the Crips living next door. You still gangbanging, that's retro. But if you're really down, like, gangbanging is classic. No disrespect to, like, retro. Like, it's just, like, something I feel like other people are gangbanging in other places now, and it's kind of like motherfuckers buying throwback jerseys and weren't even alive when Nolan Ryan pitched. Like, you're having an Astros 34 jersey, and I feel like that. But if you really are down for your shit and all the tenants, and you really with all the shit, then respect, bro. I skipped the second grade because I was special. If you listen to Jason Goldwatch, director of many Atmosphere videos, director of a couple White Mandingo's videos, he has a theory that if you test into the GATE program, it was a way for the FBI to monitor forward thinkers or highly intelligent people to see if they would turn on the government or could be turned to work for the government. Anyway, that's why I could skip the second grade. And this one where they were going to skip me in third, then they put me into magnet schools. Went to Washington, not Worcester Crest, though. Back when Tim Raines played for the Expos. The Montreal Expos hat, I still want one because it's an M like Murs. I think I want to do a Murs, whatever they call it, where you take the old logo, make something new. Shirt like that. My koala had a Dodger Blue cap on. That was the koala that came with when you joined the Dodger Blue fan club. Like when you had to write a letter and join the fan club and they sent you a koala with the Dodger Blue cap. That was me. I used to got a booty got smacked on. Nowadays, it's the booty that they snack on. Eat the booty like groceries. Disgusting.
If y'all do come close to me, he gon' wanna ride off and it goes for me. I'll make him do it. I might let your boy show for me, but he gotta eat the booty like groceries.
I'm not even gonna go down that path. I'd rather keep it in a black thong. Got dreams for sale. You can put them on scale. Love the way they smell in a metal lunch pail. If you remember metal lunch pails, I didn't get one until I bought a Kill Bill one as an adult. My mother, we didn't have the money for one, and she would probably rightfully so. Even if she did have the money, I would have lost it because I lose everything. But I love the way those thermoses smell. Oh, my God. Basically, my dream was to be a rapper and a skater and comic books and all that. And that's why I got dreams for sale. You can put on scale. Love the way it smells in my metal lunch pail. Like, I never left being that kid. Everything that I do, everything that I am is because of that kid in the 80s that wanted all those things. But wanted all those things not because they were cool, but just because I was into rap, skating, comic books, and Crip. Like, I still am around all that shit to this day. I'm baked. It's who I am. Even though the fucking rusty lunchbox is like toxic, it's you know, and the plastic had all the fucking BPA, BPG, ABDP, I don't BCD, fuck you. All the stuff that's going to preserve me and keep me alive for eons, God willing. I love it. Good, bad, ugly. I love the way it smells. I love what it is.
Drinking out of thermos, restaurants wouldn't service. Now we getting money and the whole world nervous. A cafe out in Paris. Flashed €1,000, now the management embarrassed. Flee from the scene like some villains on the spree. Yelling out Marseille, we don't fuck with PSG. Yeah, we getting money in the
Now they getting nervous, restaurants wouldn't service. So after that show, flashed €1,000 in, the management embarrassed. Cafe out in Paris, flashed €1,000. We went, I said, I'm taking all my merch money from, I have euros, I have Norwegian kroners, Swedish kroners, Danish kroners, pounds. I have a fucking fuck ton of money. Oh yeah, we get to the show in London, and now somehow even overseas, the story has traveled that Murs got naked in Bordeaux backstage. We see another rapper on Def Jux. He sees me, I'm leaving the sound check. He's coming to the venue. He's like, y'all leaving? I'm like, yeah. He's like, Murs, we butt naked brothers. And he pulled down his pants in the middle of the street in London and started running towards the fucking cab. Wild. I'm a legend now, and now he's a legend, and we're the butt naked brothers. That happened at the end of this tour. So we got pounds from that show. I got euros from all the other shows. I got kroners, 3 different type of kroner. All this is in my backpack because I'm not cashing it until I get to the airport. Because the whatever is that you get better when you flip it on the other side. When going to America, they give you better exchange rate because they want you to spend more. So I'm like, I'm going to trade all this in when I get to the American airport. So I got probably €8,000 equivalent in my backpack. A rainbow on my new song. People look at me strange, so I walk up to the window and deposit a rainbow. That's what I said in the beginning of the end song I did.
Guilders, francs, marks I used to spend. Now it's all kronas, euros, dollars, and yen. When I went into the bank, they would look at me strange, bro. I walk up to the window and deposit a rainbow.
I have this rainbow in my pocket, and it's Paris. People are being Parisian and snooty, stereotypical. But even more so because I'm black. So anyway, so Sip, this is when me and Sip are making our bond. Why I go to his house later on in the year when I come through New York, not because we have become friends. L left us on this tour. We just drove across Scandinavia together in a Volvo. We had a fisticuffs. He seen me naked. Like, this was and then we rocked after or before the French Wu-Tang at a huge a huge music festival in Paris. And then we have this lady at the table. So rewind. Or at this, I think it's like at the Arc de Triomphe or the big circle where everybody drives around. One of those fucking landmarks in France. And there's a cafe there. They half-ass seat us. Nobody wants to wait on us once we get seated. They're not waiting on us. So like, fuck this, Sip. You got all your merch money? You got all your show money? I do too. Let's just start putting it on the table. And I'm talking like we're pulling out thousands of euro and kroner and just dumping it on the table. Until the lady comes up like, well, what is the problem? Will you put it away? The manager, he say, put it away. Put the money away. Why did you do this? I'm like, motherfucker, because you're not waiting on it. And we just left. Like, because I learned somewhere around here that you don't piss off the wait staff, even if you're right, because they will fuck with your food. Fleeing from the scenes like some villains on a spree, yelling out, Marseille. We don't fuck with PSG. PSG's a rich soccer team. We get money in Lyon. Yeah. Lyon's small town, did a great show there at a brewery. I met a really dope rapper, like really dope, like OG. Kind of pressed me, but like I responded in the right way, and we kind of just had an all right moment. Oh, you're cool as shit. And we drank some beer. I wasn't even drinking, but it's like one of those moments like, all right, the OG wants to drink. Now we're cool. Like I stood my ground. Or it was like in the most beautiful macho hip-hop b-boy sense of it. I really wish it was the era of Instagram, because I really would have liked to stay in touch with that dude. But Lyon is an amazing city. Rennes is where my homeboy Maxime lives. And Bordeaux is where I got naked. And back to Paris again. And I do love Paris. I think we'll stop on this song today. Love y'all. Hopefully y'all got tickets to get to the live podcast August 3rd. Brilla Live, 611 Anderson Street, downtown Los Angeles. Go to Eventbrite or the link wherever it is in my bio. I'll probably be telling y'all about it on social media. Get your tickets. Let's see each other. Give hugs, daps, whatever. See you soon. Thanks for listening to the Best Rapper in L.A. podcast. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing on Spotify, Apple, wherever it is. If you like the show, leave a review on Apple Music or Spotify. And to support the podcast directly, go to patreon.com/MURS316, Murs316. See y'all next week. Peace.